And welcome back. So King Raditz he asked me a question. He asked the question. Who was the more evil character? King Piccolo or Vegeta? Frieza. So really, first off, you got to break it down to the actual character themselves. The things they did, how successful they were at their evil goals. So right off the bat, let's look at King Piccolo. King Piccolo is obviously the offshoot of Kami, or the being that Kami and Piccolo were before they split. Now he was sealed away. He was dangerous enough to be he had to be sealed away. But you couldn't kill him because you'll get rid of the Dragon Balls, and the Dragon Balls for the time being were important. When he got back, even as an old guy, he had no qualms of killing just any strong fighters, whether they be young or old. He actually he destroyed the dragon itself. He didn't kill the dragon. That's the thing. He didn't destroy the Dragon Balls. He destroyed the dragon, which actually goes to show how actual strong Shenron is, that he was defeated by a Dragon Ball level character. But he was evil enough that he actually conquered the world for a time. He actually succeeded in conquering the world, and he had a list of people or places that he was just going to destroy randomly just to prove himself. He was also not above torturing individuals either. He just basically was crippling Goku in their fight limb by limb, but Goku eventually came out and beat him. So, I mean, King Piccolo is pretty evil. Frieza was born already to evil parents. He was a prodigy, and he had a galactic empire. He would destroy planets on a whim. But he was actually not a bad boss in comparison to King Piccolo. King Piccolo just killed whenever he wanted to. Frieza actually didn't kill just whenever he wanted. There was a reason why he killed. Either he was threatened by something, so fear, that's a reason. He did it to prove a point, to show off his power and like keep people in line, or he did it to someone that was, that was posing a threat or hurting his overall empire. So there was actually a method to Frieza's madness. That's not to say he didn't enjoy it either. He definitely enjoyed it. But Frieza was also quite underhanded as well. He was not above using cheap tactics. Like using his tail to strangle Goku. Goku bit his tail. Like, you bit my tail. You were strangling me. And blowing up the planet on Earth in Super when he lost. He was also not above, beating someone who was down when Goku got blasted again during their rematch fight on Super. During the Resurrection F, he was beat on and weakened and hurt Goku. He had no problem just killing, just genocide. He enjoyed it. He reveled in it. But he still had a respect for. You knew that he still had a respect for Goku. He did. Particularly like near the end of Super, you knew there was a begrudging respect for Goku between him and Frieza. Despite the fact of everything, he still brought the Dragon Balls, or he still brought Frieza back. And he was someone who challenged Frieza and actually helped him push Frieza to his power limits and stuff. So Frieza was still quite powerful. But who was the more evil between the two of them? Also, quick note, King Piccolo actually got a chance to use the Dragon Balls. Not so much for Frieza. The only reason he even got brought back at all was the fact that his minions were able to get it. And bring him back in Resurrection F. He never got his immortality wish. King Piccolo got his youth rejuvenation. Like, why didn't he wish for immortality? I don't know. Garlic Jr. wished for it. He got that wish. So, who's the more evil, though? Well, I guess when you break it down, it's whose evil has had a greater impact on the series, and who's committed the more heinous acts, and who's enjoyed it more. And on that regard, I've got to say, in terms of who's, first off, accomplished more, it's Frieza. Frieza had a galactic empire, as opposed to just ruling one planet. He ruled galaxies, planets and planets. He would destroy them on a whim if he wanted to. He could do that, and he didn't care. For him, it was more business than anything else. Yeah, King Piccolo conquered a planet, but he couldn't conquer. There's no way King Piccolo could conquer a whole if he had the ship to travel and things along those lines. There's no way, and actually he technically did. They did have a ship. There's no way he could conquer a whole galaxy because he just didn't have the ability to do so in terms of manpower or just abilities. So in that sense, Frieza won. In terms of who was just the more evil, see, that's tough because King Piccolo would kill countries and destroy countries just because he could. With Frieza, there was always a reason behind it. There was actually always, even if he was sickly enjoying it, there was method to the madness. Whereas King Piccolo was just madness. That was the thing. So, yeah, like even when he's slaughtering the Namekian villages, he's doing that because they won't give up the Dragon Balls. Truth be told, Frieza might have left Namek alone because he might have seen it as good real estate if they had just given the Dragon Balls from... If hypothetically the Namekian's like, oh, here you go, Dragon Balls. And they gave them to him and they showed him how it worked, and he'd probably be like, thank you. I was like, for that, you get to live. For now. He probably would have done that. Frieza was not unreasonable. That's the thing. You could actually appeal to Frieza's, not better nature, but his selfish nature. That's the thing. You could appeal to Frieza if it's something Frieza wanted. With King Piccolo, once he got what he wanted, once he had the planet, that was it. There's nothing you could appeal to him for. He destroyed the Dragon Balls and all that. There's nothing that you could appeal to him for. So honestly, King Piccolo is a little bit more of an evil asshole that way. But there's the third factor, the long-term effect of their evil, and ultimately that goes to Frieza, because King Piccolo, let's be clear, it's like, yeah, he was a threat, sure, in Dragon Ball. If King Piccolo were able to be brought back and come back in DBZ or anywhere else, he's done. It's like, oh, I will rule. It's like, no. Chaozu could beat King Piccolo by the Saiyan Saga. Are you kidding me? Chaozu could beat King Piccolo. That's it. King Piccolo's threat was nothing by the time of Dragon Ball Z. If he somehow came back and even was like, say, 10 times stronger by Dragon Ball Z, which would put him, I think, like at it only put him at 2,000. They would have a difficult time with him, but they could beat him. Frieza, from day one, when we meet Frieza, he has always been a threat. When he was throughout Namek, he was the big bad. When he came back, he was still a threat. Luckily, Super Saiyan had been invented at that point, so his threat was neutralized to some degree. Came back in Super, though, he was just as big, if not bigger, a threat. And now he's still going to be playing a part in the next movie. So, ultimately, who was the more evil in terms of all three of those categories? It goes to Frieza. I think King Piccolo was the slightly bigger dick because there was just no real appealing to him. He just did what he wanted and you couldn't reason with him. With Frieza, there was at least a level of a businessman sense of reasonability to him. He would do what's more beneficiary to him. So if you could figure out something, if you could find something that appealed to him, you might be able to at least appease him for a while. Whereas King Piccolo, that wasn't the case. So King Piccolo was the bigger dick. I think that was the biggest thing. He's the bigger dick. But in terms of how accomplished they were, that was Frieza. And how the bigger impact in terms of their evil, that was also Frieza. So Frieza was the more evil of the two. But in terms of the long scheme, but King Piccolo was definitely the bigger dick of the two. But what do you think? Do you think King Piccolo is just the overall more evil, or you think Frieza just completely owned him? Obviously in a fight he owns him, but you know what I meant. So anyway, put that in the comments below, let me know. But thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put the comments below, let us know, we'll do a review at some point. But thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.